Welcome y'all, welcome back to the channel. It's been not too long, hopefully. From where we last left off, we were working on the downtube there, and a lot of that stuff was rinse, wash, repeat, twist, twist, twist. I do want to say a quick shout out to my bro Jason. He came on down, came clutch, and we spent good, I think 12 hours, 16 hours in total working on my downtube. Check it out. Now keep in mind, each one of these rods is 1 inch thick. And I got all 3 of them. So I got a good 30 inches. Right about here, about 30 inches. So I got plenty of metal to work with. And this is going to be the down tube. This isn't going to be the backbone. That's in the truck at the moment. And I had a 4-foot bar welded, you can see at the end here. And he and I were just going ape shit on this thing. Oh, dude, come on. Hey, just get outside. Outside. Okay. But anyways, now, and I did a lot of work off of camera because I'm coming up to a deadline. Spring is around the corner, and I really want to get the frame done ASAP. Hopefully sometime near the end of this week, hopefully. But that being said, you saw me drill out some of the original slugs off of this. Now, from here to here, about 7.5 inches of solid steel slugging. This spacer here is so I can stretch out my frame about 1.5 inches, about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4, give or take. Because like you see right there, there's a wee bit of a gap. So that way I can hit that, I can send this out, get it filled with proper welding around here, and when I put the hardtail, my mainframe on, it's going to be strong. This is going to be the strongest junction. And I'm also going to throw gussets from up here, about just past the weld, up to here. So that's going to be a flat plate here, flat plate there, and there. Shell, cap it all off so it doesn't hold any moisture or catch any debris. So this whole junction where the transmission is going to hang on top of, it's going to be the strongest part of the whole bike. And I really want that because there's very little surface area to work with in reality. We're only dealing with just over 1.5 inches worth of the circumference, thereabouts. Of course, I'm just generalizing the measurements. Get the little camera. I'm a little too ugly for close-ups. Anyways, so we got the slugs in, and like I said, 7.5 inches. I think that's more than efficient enough for slugging. But now, here comes the harsh reality. I gotta chop up my mainframe just a little bit more. Well, I'm gonna drill a few holes, one here and one here, or probably on the inside and the back, so I can do some tack welds. I'm not gonna do what I did here. I did a quick seam weld, a little surface weld, and do that. I'm actually just gonna fill in those taps that I'm gonna have on the back, on the inside here. I'm gonna tap those up for a weld, so that way I can get a professional, send it out to a shop or send my buddy, and get it professionally welded where it matters most. Because when you drill it in, I'm going to see, yeah, I got a little example here. That grind spot, I filled out with 1/8 of an inch hole, filled out full of weld, and now that isn't going anywhere. And the same thing I'm going to do down underneath. I'm going to fill all that up with weld, so these slugs can't come out, but it's not the most structural weld that I'm going to work with. I'm actually going to, like I said, have it completely welded around, have it penetrate here, penetrate in there, and gusseted. So, I did some measurements, I got a game plan. Lucky there's a few reference points I can actually work with. So what I'm going to do is going to, like I said, make a few drill holes, cut this off, slug them up, get these back on the right angle. Luckily, right across here, you lay a straight edge, it's going to be perfectly horizontal with each other. So as long as I can keep this centered or perfectly parallel with each other, I can have them stretched out or tucked in as I see fit. And I think I only have to move it about a quarter of an inch, I believe. So luckily it's not going to really ruin anything too much, and it's probably going to be beneficial because that's a big engine. Got it completely covered because grinding dust, sparks. I don't want that in my engine or in the exhaust. So this is now sponsored by Tim Hortons. Not really, but probably coffee in general. So I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod. Just going to start doing a few drills, and we're going to try and gotta cut up the frame a little bit more. All right, see you in a second. Little less frame. Alright, let's get you guys realigned to show you what the madness behind this crap is. Okay. This is going to come in handy in just a second here. The reason why I had to chop up the rest of my frame the way I did is because on center, on this frame, it's about 1/4 of an inch wider than my original frame. So, and plus with this transmission brace here for a shovel head, I couldn't really clamp them together and force them in. So what I'm going to do now is start manually sliding all these slugs in. Yep, that goes on this side. Start sliding all these together, and then get everything back horizontal. Have these at the right angle, so that way my the bolt patterns for my forward control mounts, for my brake, my foot clutch, those, so that way your one peg ain't up, one peg ain't down. They stay horizontal without having to over-engineer something I could get away with right now. So I'm gonna get these slugged in, roughly balanced. Let's see what kind of damage we can do right now. Where's my favorite hammer? There it is! Favorite hammer. So luckily, well not luckily, me being me, I'll be able to actually, there we go, tap them in, damn near perfect. Oh, that is so much better. That's so much better than what it was originally. And then start slugging it all up back together. And if you have to use a hammer to get it in and it doesn't bind at all, that means there's enough contact, enough surface area. When you weld it, it'll still act like it's a giant thick piece of bar. Make it really rigid, really strong, really tough. It's going to take a little bit. I'll get back to you guys once I get this all back together. Okay. It fit when it was before I had it slugged in the back. Okay, I'm laying on that right now. But when you don't have a lathe, milling machine, or technology like that to make your job's life a lot easier, which I do recommend. I do not ever recommend making your own out of a bench grinder, hand filed, and angle grinders, okay? Get yourself this, you can supply them with your machinist with a steel. Look at machinists in your area, contact them. I need slugs, this length, by this dimensions. Probably $40, $50, you get 100% accurately graded metal. So you didn't have to see me slam this son of a bitch with a freaking hammer. So, I think I'm gonna mess a little bit. So now, I need to make sure this distance is even, as well as make sure this flat surface, where my original motor mount is for my 88 twin cam, run parallel with each other. And make sure it's not cockeyed this way, make sure this side isn't longer than this, which means I can just slide this part out a little bit and adjust from there. And also I can probably use some measurements from here to here, but that's all chopped up to hell, so I ain't going to use that. Speaking of which, I'm probably going to have to chop off more of this. Make it a little smoother. Some people might even say just chop out this section and re-slug everything, but I'm done with sluggings. No more slugs. But yeah, I just added myself a good little over an inch. So yeah, I'm going to start getting some measurements here. Might just grab some super glue and just kind of keep this static at the time being. And after that, once I get all this trued up with each other, make sure the distance, just find some reference marks. Like say from, if I had to tie a string onto here and map it out around the middle here, tie a string here and map it on the middle there, make sure those distances from that corner to this corner, that corner, that corner are perfect. So that way this is perfectly horizontal and everything adds up. So once I feel confident, I'll get back to you guys, show you what I've been doing. Alright, be right back. Okay, so utilizing these right angle squares, this is all that was really needed to do. So like I said, we got this angle and that angle right because, like I said, these surfaces, before I cut them, when I measured them, they're perfectly horizontal with each other, which makes sense because you want maximum contact inside these drilled out holes for your engine mount. So luckily they were smart and made sure this was just flat, squared off. I don't know, you see the bubble? The bubble's in the middle. And same concept here and here with the lower engine mounts. They are flush, they are flush. That is flush over there. Hit it over here. That is flush, that is flush, that is flushing. So, surprisingly, measurements are adding up. Once you figure out the damn pattern, and when you're only dealing with about a quarter of an inch or less of a difference, it can make a big challenge. But like I said, make sure everything, double check both sides, left, right, forward, backwards, up, down, northwest, east, south. Make a riddle out of that, I don't give a shit. But once you measure 7 times, then you can start solidifying everything. Because this is at the point now where I can still make minor adjustments. I am not 100% committed yet, but I am going to make some progress here tonight, that is for sure. There we go, look at that. Not too bad for someone who's been doing this almost 100% solo. Like I said, we had Logan at the beginning of the build series doing the breakdown and the first initial chop. I wish I had video. Actually, I do have a little bit of video coming up. I did have a little bit of video of Jason and I working on the downtube. He spent the entire weekend, like I said, almost 12, 13 hours total, twisting this son of a bitch, which is going to be another tweak to fit in here now, because this is a wider space, which means I gotta bend these out and back in to fit back into there. So my original plan is still in the clear. We're still in agreement with the original plan, but I think I'm just rambling. You guys want to skip to the next step? Let's skip to the next step. Alright, now that some of the boring stuff is over, I had to come up with a new idea how to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. I decided to use the original engine mount bars. These run through the twin cam, making a rigid mounted motor. So what I did was I utilized both of them, and since the washers have a perfectly flat surface area, and on the heads, I make sure they are pressed evenly against. It's kind of hard to tell because the screen is so small. Make sure they are flush with each other on both sides, top and bottom. Afterwards, since this is a perfect 90 degrees, so I can be confident I can make some center marks off of my transmission mount. Well, I guess for the shovel head, it's going to be a transmission for the Road Glide. So I measured the center. This is 2 inches wide. Mark the center, and I pull taut. I'm not reefing on it, but I just make sure it's pressed up against the backing here. Ran my tape measurer. Measure from this side, other side. Well, on each side of the mark, so I can tell on both units of measurements that this came out to be 24 1/8 inch. So from here to here, here to here, is all measured out in the center. So if I were to grab the tape measurer, put it right roughly in the middle, run it all the way back, 24 1/8. So at 3 points, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that is great news to let me know this is all centered. Fortunately, there is a rather large gap over here on the right side slug. But like I said, since I had 3 inches to play with, I still have up to about here, whereas full contact, let's see, I have, I'm guessing, let's just say about 2 1/4 inches of slug still running deep into the mainframe here. Which again, that means from here to here is going to be a solid bar. Here to here is going to be a solid bar. Actually, from here. Yeah, because I have my slug running all the way to the back to the bend up here. So all this is going to be really solid. And when I throw the gussets on, it's even going to be better. This is definitely going to be a task that you have to measure several times to make sure all your measurements are correct. Take your time. Like I said, if you are doing this at home, take your time. This is not a how-to video. It's just a process video. And make sure everything's pressed up against each other properly. I'm probably going to get my grandfather to kind of help me make sure everything stays still while I weld it all back together. And then once that gets welded, I can lift it up, turn it upside down, hit the bottom part of the holes, fill those full of weld. I've been going 3 days without sleep, so forgive my speech impedimency. So once this whole section starts getting more rigid, more stiff, not going to slide, not going to pop out anywhere, I can get started working on measuring my down tube. I may actually have to light up the forge again, because there's a slight bow going this way, I believe. Well, it's going off to the right or left. If anything, I would much rather bow out and back, because that'll still give me a little extra clearance for my engine. But I'm going to heat it up, straighten out the best I can, so it'll be a nice straight shot out and connection with my backbone. And then I can start setting up my springer, which I am going to show you probably in the next episode or two, and welding up my neck. Oh, that is full of dust running down my sleeve. Damn it! Oh well, here's a dirty job. Mike bro, reach out. So yeah, I'm gonna get everything back into position, make sure everything's nice and stiff. or rigid, and I'm going to start setting up the welds. And get back to y'all in just a second here. Yeah, so I'd like to thank everyone who's been watching and who haven't been subscribing, even though I haven't been uploading recently. This has been quite a hectic couple of weeks for me recently because car's broken, gotta work on that. Pretty much tapped out financially because I had to pick up my Springer yesterday. Well, yesterday, yeah, about 2 days ago, Saturday, I think. Yeah, so yesterday. I hope you guys keep on subscribing and fill up the comment sections. What you would think would work, what was your plans, what would you do differently, get your opinions in here, or just tell me where I screwed up at or where I'm an idiot at. Go ahead, fill the comments up, like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. That bell's gonna be your best friend because video has been really erratic when uploading. I'm probably just going to do a few more welds and I might call it a night because, like I said, it's been about 2 days without any sleep, working all night. Alright, see you in the next one.